Good hello friends and welcome back to my channel. So this past month I was very blessed. Not only did this channel hit 1 year on YouTube, but we have also hit over 100 subscribers. Now when I first started making these videos, it was just a way for me to kind of explore this new book community that I had found through Instagram, and I never would have thought that coming back from school and being in quarantine and whatnot would give me this new surge of inspiration, and that I would put myself on such a good schedule to make videos and make content that would actually make me really happy to put out. So with that being said, I feel like you guys know me fairly well through Instagram, but I haven't really filmed anything like this, and I think it would be a lot of fun, especially because I have so many new friends that are following me here and so many on my Instagram, and I always love these kinds of videos because it's kind of taking a break from books while not taking a break from books, and you're getting to know the person that you've been watching. Whether you are a new subscriber or an old friend, hello, and I'm really excited to get to some of these questions. So on my Instagram, I had my friends send over some questions and I'm going to answer some of them right now. One of my friends, Amara, sent me 3 questions. The first being, what is your most anticipated release for the rest of the year? Now, I am absolutely terrible with keeping up with new releases, especially because I have so many backlisted books. It's kind of ridiculous as to how many I have backlisted. But even as bad as I am with new releases, I think my most anticipated is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I requested this on NetGalley and I got rejected, so I'm really looking forward to purchasing it when it does come out. The next question she asked me is, what TV show have you been binging lately? If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I've been watching nothing but Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf has taken over my life again, and I don't really know why I chose to start rewatching it, but I felt like it. It came on Amazon Prime, and quite frankly, it has been a while, and I forgot how much lore is in Teen Wolf and how much I love the show, and I love the actors, and I love the character development, and it is chef's kiss, immaculate. I continued watching Once Upon a Time. I had already finished up until season 6, and then they had added season 7 on Netflix, and I don't really love season 7. It's a little bit confusing considering it's different from the canon from the first 6 seasons. I'm not necessarily a fan, but it is really enjoyable, and I'm still going to finish it because it is the final season. And then the final question that she asked is, what is a book you recommend to everyone? Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom is a memoir dedicated to one of his professors, and this book is something that I recommend to literally anyone who will listen to me. My cousin had me read this book, shout out to you. I have absolutely fallen in love with this novel. I straight up was like crying at the end of this. It made me sit down and write a letter to one of my professors who played such an influential role, and I'll kind of get to that in a second. I adored this book, adore Mitch Albom's writing, and 100% would recommend not only Tuesdays with Morrie, but any of his books. The next question is, what are you studying in college? So if you guys didn't know, I'm actually finishing my junior year of college right now, and I'm going into my senior year, which is very exciting. I am a sociology major and an English minor. I'm getting a general concentration in sociology, and I have fallen in love with the study. It was something that I took at my junior college as like a requirement for my humanities course, and Soc 1, Intro to Soc, was actually the class where Tuesdays with Morrie made me write a letter to my professor because he ended up being the reason that I took the Soc path. And honestly, I am so grateful for how that class was set up because it's created so many different opportunities for me already, and I actually really love learning about all the different niche all the different specific aspects of society in ways that we could have never imagined. And then I'm getting a minor in English because of my senior year AP literature teacher. They're technically teachers in high school. But this woman absolutely changed the game for me. I loved English classes, I loved reading, but something about her class just really changed my perspective on so much, and I'm still in communication with her now. I like to send her an email like once a year or something to kind of give her an update on life, and I know that she is someone that I can visit anytime and she will welcome me with open arms, and we can sit and discuss just about anything. I love this woman so much, and so these 2 teachers and professors are the reasons I actually chose my study paths. The next question is, what are your comfort Films, books, and songs. I was about to say I don't have a comfort film, but I totally do. Hercules is 100% my comfort film. I can watch this anytime and just be put into such a good mood. Along with Hercules is Lilo and Stitch, the movie. And then if I was really feeling it, I'll watch the show. Comfort books? Comfort books. I don't know. I kind of want to say the Shadow and Bone series only because I've reread it a couple of times now and I know it's not good. Objectively. I know it's not the best thing that she's ever written, but like something about the world just really puts me in a good mood and I don't know, it's one of those easy reads. The Hating Game is also a comfort read for sure. I think it's so much fun and it's one of my favorite hate to love romances. Oh my gosh, how could I forget? Okay, literally the biggest comfort read and watch actually has been Avatar. Obviously Avatar just came out to Netflix and whatnot, but I have owned the DVDs for quite some time and I have been rewatching them literally all my life. But I recently read all of the available comics and graphic novels and it was so much fun. Like, it bridges the gap between Avatar and The Legend of Korra, and as much as I think The Legend of Korra is cool and whatnot, it's not the Avatar. And that's that. There was one more. Comfort songs. That's hard. I feel like I have like general vibey playlists. I don't know, there's something really special about some of these playlists and the mood that they put me in. One of my all-time favorite artists will be Michael Bublé. I love this man. He just has the most beautiful voice. His albums put me in the best possible mood and they have since I was a kid because my parents kind of exposed me to it at a young age. I love Michael Bublé. He's my man. For sure, he is my man. The next question is any current hobbies / projects. So besides this, honestly, like I have really picked this up as a new hobby that I'm being consistent with and I'm very, very proud of myself for it. I've started to really focus on my blog and per my cousin's persistent advice, she has told me constantly that I need to update my blog and do better about that. So I have been, and I've been drafting a couple of posts that I'm really excited about and a couple of new reviews. So it's been really good to be a lot more meticulous with my reading. However, I have been painting a lot more. I'm not someone who likes to paint. I don't know, it's not something that like I've ever found like, oh, I'll just sit down and paint today. I really like making gifts for people and being in a sorority. I'm in Phi Sigma Sigma and there aren't too many chapters, so if you are a Phi Sigma Sigma woman, let me know. I have really enjoyed making gifts for my big and my little. The next question is a book I've been meaning to start. Can I say a book series? Because then I can link you to that entire video. But I think, I don't know, nothing's been really calling my name lately. Oh, you know what? Giselle is going to be really upset with me about this and I'm sorry, but I'm going to go grab it. I'm sorry. Children of Blood and Bone. This thing has been on multiple TBRs. I've picked it up once and I tried and it just wasn't doing it for me. Giselle has literally told me to read this so many times and so many other people have as well. I'm really scared I'm going to be disappointed because it has been on my shelf for so long and I have the Barnes & Noble special edition. Like, come on. Also, you can see where I started and stopped. Let's see what page that is. Page 28. I didn't even finish the chapter. Like, this is a book I've been meaning to start, finish, continue, whatever you want to say. And I haven't. The next question is, what is a genre you want to read more of? So something that I know for sure I like is historical fiction. I just don't see myself picking them up that often because they are so hard-hitting whenever I do read them. They're usually super hard-hitting and so I have to take breaks when I read them. But another genre is sci-fi. I find myself really loving sci-fi. The Martian is one of my all-time favorite books and book-to-movie adaptations. I 100% will stand by the fact that that movie adaptation is fantastic and you cannot tell me otherwise. I was like really aggressive, I'm so sorry. Jacob has yelled at me to read Red Rising and I know I should and I know I will. Jacob, I'm sorry. Oh, and I love the Illuminae files and I know those are all very different in terms of the spectrum of sci-fi. I love it. I want to read more of it, so I'm going to. It's going to be a mission and I shall, and it's going to be fantastic. The next question is, what are your go-to recommendations? Books, movies, TV, etc. So I've kind of given you, you know, Tuesdays with Morrie, I've given you Teen Wolf. What was I gonna say? I had a thought. So I've definitely given you guys a lot of recommendations as it is. Avatar will always be a go-to recommendation. White Collar was one of my favorite shows like a couple of years ago. Oh my gosh, a couple of years ago? It's probably over like 5 years now. I thought that show was so much fun and so well done. And two more shows that I have to recommend are The Vampire Diaries, which, oh my god, fan-freaking-tastic. I love Elena, I love Steph, and I love Damon. I am definitely team Elena all the way. And then Peaky Blinders is actually one of my go-to TV shows to kind of rewatch now. Me and my friends at school sat down and watched all of Peaky Blinders, and it was fantastic. Whenever I miss them, I'll put on an episode or two and I forget how much I love the world and how much I love the time era and how they did everything. Granted, yes, it is not a TV show to watch with like your family. There is a lot of violence, a lot of sex, a lot of drugs, but it is so good. So my cousin, my dear cousin, asked me, who's your favorite cousin? You know, we have a pretty big family and there's a pretty big pool to pick out of, but I think Ani might be my favorite. Yeah, that seems right? Right? Is that the answer that you were looking for? Freaking dummy. Ooh, okay. My most hated trope. Oh god, do I have a hated trope? Oh my gosh, insta love and love triangles are, get rid of them, don't want them. As much as, okay, if they're well done. The love triangle between Stefan, Elena, and Damon, beautiful. But then you look at the triangle between Bella, Edward, and Jacob. I almost forgot his name, oh my god. But between like those two, oh god, no. I would prefer there to not be a love triangle, but like I think it works better in TV shows. In books there's a lot less to consume unless it's like a long-winded series, but if you're watching a TV show, you're gonna be watching several seasons of it. So you have time to kind of develop feelings for both. Like I think in Jane the Virgin, the love triangle was done so well until that one season. And if you watch Jane the Virgin, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But, I also still haven't read Snowfalling, which is the novella that is written in Jane the Virgin, and I want to. I love Jane the Virgin. It was a ton of fun, and I just really want to read it considering how much I love the show. Abby asked me, what is my favorite classic? Oh, see, okay, now that's hard because I feel like I haven't read a bunch of the like telltale classics. But I do have a few, so I'm gonna go grab. The first being The Great Gatsby. I feel like this is one of the first times that I had read a classic while in school and really enjoyed it. I believe I had watched the movie directly after reading it. So I hadn't watched the movie yet for the sheer reason of wanting to read it first and then watch it. And oh my gosh. I highlighted, wrote all up inside it, and I think I had so much fun reading this that it became an instant favorite. But I do love the story, I love the commentary behind it, and I know for a fact that I'm going to dive into more of F. Scott Fitzgerald's works. And finally, Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. Again, I was so incredibly captivated by this new experience that I was reading. This was set in the 5th, but with this, it was so much more hard-hitting because the timeline is a bit longer, and like I'm at a loss of words when I describe this book because it was so intense for when I did read it. It goes into the Deep South talking about a battle royale where white men are obviously still in power. I mean, as if that's no different today. The racism is a lot harder, obviously, because it's the 40s and the 50s. These men are reduced to fighting animals and are bet on, and it's so heartbreaking but so incredible, and I remember absolutely loving this, and I have to give this another read soon. The next question that I got is, what made you start your Bookstagram? Honestly, I don't fully remember. I remember like I had been following these bookish blogs and Instagrams on my personal account. I had started watching a bunch of BookTube accounts, and I think I just kind of wanted it to be organized in this one space. So before I started posting, I was definitely more of a consumer. And then there was this one day I remember it so vividly. I was reading A Court of Mist and Fury. Oh man. So now, okay, yeah, I have to think. It's out of order on my bookshelf. It's wow, how did I manage to do that? Anyway, I'll have to fix that later. But I was reading A Court of Mist and Fury, and I took a picture of it like next to my coffee, and I was like, wow, look at me. I can totally do this. And the camera that I'm filming on now actually is, well, I film with the Canon Rebel T3i. I've had this thing for years, and I actually just ordered a new camera, so we'll see which I like better, but I'm still planning on keeping both and using both. So I thought, like, who's it gonna hurt to start taking pictures of my books? And I found that this was one of the easiest ways for me to kind of dive into the book community and really go in head first, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that I did it because I met so many incredible people, and I'm able to make videos like this now talking about some of my favorite things. So yeah. The next question is, who is my favorite OTP? Oh man, there's so many, and I could totally sit with the typical like Reese and Farrah because like honestly, yeah, they have to be one of my favorites. It is the series that brought me back into reading, but Jax and Tella from the Caraval series and Lucy and Joshua from the Hating Game. I think those, just by like scanning my bookshelves, top 3 I would have to say, because none of the other ones really like stick out in my head. Those have to be my top 3. And the final question is, what are my top 5 books of all time? Okay, I think I have what I would categorize. I hope. Okay, so if it wasn't obvious enough, Tuesdays with Morrie is one of my all-time favorite books. Will stay forever up there. I think this is probably like number 1 or 2. The next is a book that I actually just read. You guys saw I just read this, Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I think both the structure of this novel and the time that I am reading this made this all the more impactful for my reading experience. So this is definitely an all-time favorite, and I will be revisiting it very soon, even though like I just finished it. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne is an all-time favorite. Like I've said, this book can put a smile on my face anytime I read it, and I have never been the type of person to say a romance novel is like an all-time favorite, but something about this one really just stuck out to me, and it felt believable while still keeping itself very lighthearted. The next is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. If you know me at all, you know I love this book, you know I love this series. I actually think it might be due for a reread. And this series is one of the books that I have such an easy time reading and rereading, and I actually had an arc finale when it came out, and so it was just such a cool experience for me to read this and read alongside with some of my friends. I love Caraval, I love the whimsicalness of this world, and it will forever be an all-time favorite. And finally, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. Like I said, Shadow and Bone is like such a comfort read for me, but when I read Six of Crows, I was so blown away by how much Leigh can really take her world and up the ante so much more. As you can see, lots of love for this book as well. I haven't reread it in quite some time, and I would love to actually give this a reread sometime this year, especially with the show adaptation coming out. I don't think we have a date for that yet, but an all-time favorite. I think these books will definitely stand the test of time. Only a reread will do. I know Caraval already has, and I know The Hating Game has, and I know Tuesdays with Morrie has, so I only got 2 more books to reread, I guess, to see if they really stand the test of time. So those are actually all the questions that I have for this Q&A. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer, leave them in the comments below, and I will happily let you know a little bit more about myself. And I'm just so incredibly thankful to have this platform and to be able to know so many new people and have some of my friends and family actually really enjoy my videos as well. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, I'll talk to you on Instagram.